So someone said to me last night that they'd want to hear my stories, the things that I imply but I don't tell. And that cracks me up. So here's one. It's the story of my bestest love. I was 32. I had just left my husband. And I had my restaurant. And my restaurant had 2 apartments above. That's important to the story. And one day in late December, beginning of January, my birthday's January 7th, an energy, someone, came into my faraway reality, meaning he was just either driving by or walking by. And energy does not lie. And I would look at this person and think, little boy, you need to stop looking at me like this. Get your fucking eyes off me. And I would tell myself, don't let him come fucking anywhere near you. He's too little. And so, on the eve of my birthday, January 6th, at about 11:30 p.m., I'm in my bar, my restaurant, and I'm telling the, 5 to 10 people, I don't remember, who are with me. Let's go, bitches. Fucking finish this drink. Everything's done. We are the fuck out of here. I get to have my birthday. We're closing my place down. You know this. We're closing my motherfucking place down, and we're going somewhere so I can enjoy myself at midnight, and I can dance, and I don't have to be responsible for you. And as I'm telling my bitches, dudes and chicks, get that last drink in you, let's go, someone pipes up and says, well, the driver's not here yet of the second car. I'm like, okay, thank you. Everybody has set this up so nobody's drinking and driving, and I'm very grateful. It's my birthday. I don't have to fucking think if I don't want to. And so, enter the kid. He walks into the door where the pool table is, and I look at him and say, literally, this is how I speak. Little boy, you can't be in here. I was speaking in French. Mec, tu peux pas rentrer ici, t'es trop jeune. Little boy, you can't be in here, you're too young. And he looks at me and he says, well, that's funny. I was just called to be the driver so that you could have your birthday. And, are you ready yet? You're getting in the car. And I was like looking around and saying, no, I'm not. You're just a baby. You can't drive me. You don't even like fucking have your legal driver's license. You're just a baby. Go away, baby. Go away. Because meanwhile, energy doesn't lie, right? So I'm like, fuck, get away. And he looks at me and he says, I'm 18, which is, far, 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 far away from 33 that I'm about to turn in like 25 fucking minutes at this point. And I says, that's really sweet that you're 18. I'm glad you're legal. I'm really glad you're legal. Quebec, 18 to be legal to drink. And, considered an adult. I said, I'm really glad you're legal, but you need to go back to the park and smoke up behind the swings with your fucking little friends. You're not coming to my birthday party. And he says, well, I am if you want a driver. I was like, fine. Then I'm getting in the other car and fuck off. Stay the fuck away from me. It's my birthday and I'm telling you to stay the fuck away from me. And we left. And yes, this is how I speak to people. Meanwhile, everybody's fucking laughing, right? And yeah, you know what? I can't believe I'm going to tell this story without editing it, but I'm going to tell it without editing it. This is just like. So we get to the bar, and I'm not going to lie, fucking drinks are coming, and I'm like trying to dance, trying to have some fun, but it's like some weird ass fucking karaoke country night that, like, don't matter if we've all tried to go to the mic. There's just too many fucking bitches screaming for the same goddamn song over and over in a line, and we are not getting our turn for a while to turn the fucking beat around. So someone looks at me and says, well, I can't fucking stay here. The music fucking sucks. Let's go to the strip club. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? It's my fucking birthday and you're gonna take me to a fucking strip club? Yes, Michelle, we're taking you to the strip club. It's not about the chicks. The music is better. There's actually 2 pool tables instead of 1, and it cannot get worse than this. It can only get better. So I was like, fuck, you're right. I've seen boobs all my life. I don't have to look if I don't want to. Let's fucking go rock this place. Because the thing about strip clubs is, depending on where you are, this is Quebec, it's where the action was. So we took our action to where there was more action. And the music was fucking awesome, and just we were having a good time. Meanwhile, no matter where I am, I can feel the energy of the kid on me, like, everywhere I fucking go. I don't know, like, at this point, like, I'm fucking pretty elevated in alcohol vibes, and I'm sick of being stared at from across the fucking room, no matter where I fucking try to hide. So when you're bothered by something, you go face it head on. And at this point, he was sitting on a couch, and so I went to sit beside him and said, like, why the fuck are you staring at me? And boom, there it began. I remember I called my ex-husband the next morning, and I said, I'm sorry to be telling you this, but you're going to know within 24 hours, if not, 2. I've done gone fallen in love, and I did it not openly, but it's very obvious to the people we were with, and it will be obvious more and more day by day because we're going to be inseparable. And holy fuck, he was mad. He was so mad. Why would you call me to rub my face in it, Michelle? Why would you do this to me? And I was like, I'm not trying to rub your face in it. I didn't mean to find him so fast. I didn't know. But people will be talking because I have the restaurant in town, and everybody talks about me no matter what I do. And people will be telling you within not a lot of time that I just turned 33 and I'm with an 18-year-old. Oops. To add more insult to your fucking injury, not only do you have to deal with the fact that 2.5 months after I've left you, I've found someone else, but he's a baby. Or not. That part's not coming out. But yeah, so, within the week and a half following my decision and the truth that we were inseparable, not in a creepy way, but just in a really good way, solid, it didn't take more than a week. I can't remember the timeline where my ex-husband came and talked to me, and the first thing he said was, thank you. When the stories started to fly at me, I was so prepared to handle them. At first, I thought you were a cunt. Yeah, he called me a cunt in French. In plut. At first, he thought I was just being a bitch by letting him know, and then he realized I empowered him. When the stories started coming towards him, he knew before they did what was going to come out of their mouth. He also knew the facts, and he didn't feel like he thought he would feel. He felt empowered. But he still felt he should come talk to me because I was going to be used and laughed at, and I was basically just being used by a kid. And I was like, okay, that's your point of view. And he was so mad. How could you do this? He's so young. He's so young. He has a life to live, Michelle. You're taking his youth away from him. Funny, it didn't feel like that at the time. I thought that we were pretty fucking youthful together. To the point where he'd get carded when we walked in somewhere and I didn't, and I was the 33-year-old. But hey, whatever, right? And yeah, I got his morality, because this was how my ex-husband was. So I got his morality of what's right and wrong. And basically, was told it was disgusting because I would even consider being with somebody who was 15 years my junior. Fast forward to 2 to 3 weeks in, and either openly in front of everybody or in private, I would say 60 to 70% of people I know who had judged it were coming to see me and saying, like, I've never seen you like this. Or I knew Danny before, I've never seen him like this. I'm sorry if I laughed at you or if I thought bad thoughts. You guys are so perfect. We can't imagine anybody else together. We can't imagine you with your husband anymore, and we can't imagine Danny with his past anymore. All that we see is who you guys are for us and who you are for yourselves. It's really cool when people like can be like throwing stones and saying naughty shit behind somebody's back. But it's fucking epic when somebody can take those stones and turn them into a gem and come and say, like, I'm sorry, or I was wrong, or I understand, whatever. It's really cool. And we were together for 4 years. Some of that was off. I just would push him away. And I remember we almost got back together. We only broke up twice. Like, wasn't like that much of a yo-yo. There was never no fighting. It was just me saying, like, fuck off, go, I don't need you. I'm independent. Stop doing all this shit for me. Go away. You're too nice. But, yeah, we almost did. And everything inside me was saying, but this is over. Like, this can't happen. It's done. And I was at his house, and we were talking about should we or shouldn't we, and I was like, I can't. I see you with someone. I see your babies, and I can't. They're not mine. And as we were finishing our conversation and I was leaving, there was a knock on the door. And so it was like that moment where, you're about ready to go with your shoes on and somebody else is coming in with their shoes on as well to take them off. And when he opened the door and said, hey, and then I was like, sorry, I was just leaving. Boom, there she was. The mom of his children, the person he's still with today. And I remember I looked at her and I said hi, and she was so pissed that I was there. Oh, fuck, everybody was scared of me. Oh, fuck. And I looked at her and I said, hey, it's your turn. I just came to say hi, and I hope you stay. And I looked at him and I winked and I said, I told you. Yeah. And the other thing I'm going to add to this story is a year after I left my husband, he found his soulmate. Because I wished her for him first. Because mine wasn't like Danny was like my soul contract, my ultimate like love, soul contract. He wasn't like my soulmate, whatever you want to call that. But when my ex-husband met his soulmate, I found out through my son. My son came home and he says, Mom, Daddy brought someone home. And I saw just her leg sticking out of the blanket. And I don't know what I feel, but I just feel like she should be there, and I'm so happy. And I said to Samuel, I was like, she's the one. Daddy wouldn't have let her in the house, and he wouldn't have let you see her like that. She's the one. I told you she was coming. And he's like, wow, I haven't even seen her face yet. I just seen her leg. And I know, too. I know what you mean. And so my husband used to, ex-husband, whatever, Anouk, he used to come to the restaurant all the time, and I kept on waiting for him to tell me, that he had met someone. It took a couple days, and he came and he saw me and he told me, I've met somebody, and I was like, cool, blah, 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 and whatever. And I didn't ask any details. And it took another 2 weeks before somebody told me how old she was. He didn't brag about it. She was 13 years younger than him. So yeah, all that judgment and that morality that he had poured out on me that day, and came back to bite him in the ass, because the person that he's still with today has had a child with, and his life partner is 13 years younger than him. And that's the thing too, is I don't want to forget to add to this story that as much as other people were coming to tell me, or to just be like, like, holy shit, how did you create this? How can you guys be so happy? My ex-husband came to me after a few months. It took him a little bit longer, because he needed the security as a father that this man, I call him a kid as a joke because we did that together, but he was a man. He saw, he knew, he experienced the good backlash of his kids coming home and being happy, because mom was in a healthy, beautiful, loving relationship. And the man that I was with actually took the time to be, I hate the word step, but it is stepdaddy. He was 18. He didn't have any kids, but he played with the kids like, fuck, more than I did sometimes. I'd come home fucking tired from the restaurant, and he would pick up the load, and they'd be outside fucking playing, and I could hear them giggling and snorting, and I'd be like, oh my God, I get to rest. This has never happened to me before, And I've had the chance to gift him back when I was on Facebook before, like, I remember we had a conversation once. We didn't talk often. Me and Danny, after we got separated, it's a part of respect of leaving my spot for his woman, and it's part of the fact that we didn't have the same circle of friends, or we weren't merged in a community setting to see each other, know each other. But I remember one time we were talking on a messenger chat, and he said something like he had 2 kids by now, and he was saying how he didn't know enough about being a dad. And I was like, what? And he said that his partner was like being hard on him, that about choices he wanted for the children. And I was like, dude, you've been a dad since you were 18, like with my kids, like that still counts. She's the one with less experience than you. Don't fucking give your power away. Don't give your power away because you're a fucking man and a woman tells you don't know enough. And I didn't think my video would segue into, like that, but it's true. How many daddies are told, like, you don't know how to change a diaper, I'll do it. Well, fuck, did the moms all go to diaper changing 101? Because some moms don't know shit about changing a diaper. Shit about changing a diaper, get it? Keep your power. Don't give your power away. You know what you know. You can let flow what you know. I don't know if I'm going to upload this. I'm not really good with my stories. But I'm also not very good at holding shit back and making my life sound more mysterious than it is. It's just a fucking story. Past is the past.